to move on to fast forward to 2006.
Okay.
And the work that you did with John Mayer.
Okay.
And you had a song that you did with him called In Repair.
Okay.
And he's even made a documentary about it back at that time. I think it's called One Day, One Song, or One Song, One Day, or something like that, where it looked like it was at Avatar.
Yeah, it was at Avatar. Yeah.
And I guess this was like there's a quote that he gave, or that he said, I want to read it to you. He said, one of the moments in this song that makes it different than most songs I've written is that Charlie Hunter wrote the bridge section himself. It was just kind of his sensibility in that song. And that's an excerpt from the documentary.
Oh, that's nice.
I wish had you heard him say that, or did you really say that?
No, I didn't. No.
So do you remember much about the session, the song, anything remarkable?
Man, I just remember I was just having trouble with my instrument at that point.
There's still the eight strings.
Yeah, I think it was, or maybe it was. I was only playing. I turned it into a 7. I can't remember, but yeah. So I was just trying to do that, but it ended up being pretty cool. I think the track, right?
Yeah, there's some interesting stuff on it where I think there's I don't know if you were using the Pog. Somebody was using a Pog.
He was the thing that does the
polyoctave.
It's very metallic, but it gives like a kind of almost like a church organ-y kind of sound to it. Yeah.
And then, do you remember, obviously he said you brought something special to the mix. Do you remember kind of the part that you came up with? Is it just kind of listening to how the song was materializing, or how written was it when you got there?
Not written at all. We just did this thing. He came up with it. I think we were just grooving and just doing a thing and putting little chord changes. I can't remember. I got to be honest.
Was Steve Jordan playing the drums?
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. It's incredible, that guy.
Yeah. So what was that like working with him?
Oh man, it was my first time working with him, and it was. I mean, he's Steve Jordan. What can you say?
Right.
You know what I mean? Rock solid, man. It was education.
And do you remember gear-wise, what kind of amp you were using, or was it direct, or?
Probably was direct, I would imagine.
Yeah, you think John Mayer would have let you go direct? You don't think he would have thrown a Dumble in there for you?
I don't know. Well, I've never played through a Dumble before, and I'm not a super gear guy, as you can see, other than these crazy guitars.
Yeah.
But he had a Marshall stack there.
Really?
And I had never played through one before, and you're gonna laugh at me, but I really loved that group AC/DC.
Yeah.
And I'd never had a chance to play anything like that before. Yeah. And he had a guitar with maybe it was an SG, I think it was. It's like, bro, can I please play for just a minute or two?
Yeah.
Man, I must have played for just a burn one of their licks or something, and it was so loud. And it moved so much air that I had to stop. I was terrified. It was just this is not for me, but thank you so much. Thanks for the opportunity,
That's great. Was that the first time that you'd worked with him, on that session, or had you done anything with him before?
I hadn't worked with him, but, he was...
He's a big fan of yours.
Yeah, he's always been very kind to me, and he came to one of my gigs when he was very young, probably in his early 20s.
Before he had a record deal, or?
Oh, yeah, before that. And then when he got a record deal, I think it was his first record, then he started playing. I had a band with this great drummer, Stephen Chopek, and he hired Stephen to play in his band at that point. And the funny thing is, my son, when he was about 10, he came into the house from, I don't know, he's probably coming from baseball practice or something like that. And he came to the house all excited. He goes, Dad, I just heard someone do You Better Than You. And it was that song he does.
Neon?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's really good, man. I heard him do a solo show on acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
And that was my favorite thing. That he's done by far.
Yeah.
I just loved the he really has a great feel, and of course a great songwriter, and then all of the interplay between the voice and playing guitar. I mean, that's hard stuff to do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
absolutely.
So, anyway,
yeah, it's a difficult skill. I mean, you have to have a lot of markers to kind of like make sure that you're staying on track with doing, you know, that busy of a guitar part and singing, you know, and checkpoints throughout.
Yeah,
your
it's
ears.
great. It's great, man. Really, really great.
But this is the first time you've like been in the studio with him in a professional context.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm wondering. I know that this guitar is not capable of doing some of the stuff that 8-string was doing that you used there, but I'm wondering if we could maybe listen to it.
Sure.
And then, you know, you haven't listened to this in some time or in its completion
At all.
So this will be Maiden Voyage. So we have a track. We've pulled out the vocal just so we can focus on the instrumentation.
Okay, so yeah, you bet if I'm going to be grimacing at my playing, I'll just prepare you for that.
Yeah, well, let us know, because it'll be interesting. I mean, some parts are obviously him. There's some solo parts that are very John Mayer, you know, stylistically. But, you know, like, I'd love to get your impressions as it's going.
Sure,
so let's cue it up. So that's him.
That's him, I think, yeah.
With the Pog.
Then. Pretty sure that's what I'm doing, yeah.
With a tremolo.
Tremolo like on the guitar. But I had this note on the guitar, it's on the bass now, on this instrument. Right? Whatever. Wrong note, but... I really don't know this song.
We can get the bridge part that's
this
supposedly
the bridge now?
Should be coming up here. Does this feel like a Charlie Hunter sensibility as you're hearing it back?
Not really. I don't know.
This is kind of like the chorus. But so you've never listened to the complete, like the completed product?
No, I have not.
This is the first time.
This is the first time.
Maiden Voyage.
Maiden Voyage. But I did remember that he was using the
Pog,
that thing, and I was like, wow, because I guess it was something that was relatively new.
Yeah, they were huge back then. They've since consolidated it into like smaller.
I was like, wow, that's
versions.
cool. I remember he was just messing around with it, and he's like, let's do the tune with this. I'm like, all right. And then the acoustic guitar. I remember my friend Jeff Traugot. He said, man, if you're playing that session, take this acoustic guitar to him. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that's the acoustic guitar he played on the session. Was that one.
Not his Martin OM 28
No, I
or
don't
whatever.
think so. I mean, this was probably a while ago.
Yeah,
so I don't know. I don't want to step on anyone's toes.
Yeah, but, yeah. Well, still, a very cool song. And it's cool that we got to experience your reaction to it.
Yeah.
Having heard it in its, you know, albeit, you know, almost 20 years or 17 years later.
I think I know the song now. If we listen to it again, I can play it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to. We don't need to put any pressure on you to play. I was more curious as to like your thoughts and kind of hearing it retrospectively as to how it felt in the mindset and the context of the session.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't remember too much, but you know.